Star Citizen is essentially an open-world sandbox with some theme park-style gameplay woven in. The current gameplay mechanics we have at the moment are mostly centered around combat and some sort of simple box delivery missions. From the escort and rescue missions continually popping up on your screen from NPCs calling for help, to the Evict the Illegal Occupant planetary surface missions, where you take out a bunch of NPCs on foot in a mining location, to a majority of the mission giver missions, current theme park gameplay is mostly centered around combat. There are, however, quite a few investigation and delivery missions. Most are quite passive in the requirements that the game makes the player do. From the go here, touch dead body, get paid, to the go there, pick up box, fly over there, drop off box on rooftop, and get paid, to the newer type of go here, pick up quantum sensitive box, deliver at a very slow pace across the entirety of a moon, drop off, and get paid. Essentially, all the missions require flying or fighting, but nothing else. As for sandbox gameplay, we've got a fairly well fleshed out mining mechanic with a well done mining HUD and a lot of properly reporting feedback mechanisms that create a sense of purpose and require more of the player than just being a delivery plebe. That being said, most of the mining really takes no skill at all, other than some fine motor skills with a mouse wheel to keep the power levels in the green zone, or a willingness to spend a gob of money on mining attachments and consumables that can make your job even easier. I am personally holding out hope that CIG will work into the mix even harder mining configurations that would require the user to determine the exact quantities of a deposit and then take two or more gases, mix them together in a chamber to create the exact wavelength needed to mine a specific material, and leave most of the inert materials behind. For example, they could give us the ability to create ion lasers, metal vapor lasers, chemical lasers, and other types of gas lasers. And they could make it so that in a helium silver laser, for example, depending on the gas and vapor mixture, we could get the mining laser to have a wavelength between 224 nanometers and 248 nanometers, and that would, depending on the intermix ratio, give us different efficiencies in mining for a given material. For another example, a neon copper laser would have a wavelength between 248 nanometers and 325 nanometers. And depending on the mixture, that would give you some level of efficiency getting rid of inert materials or getting a much better percentage of the total material that you're mining for. But this is a discussion for a dedicated mining video that I will be making soon. So, beyond just mining, we have medical gameplay on the horizon, with multiple new types of medical devices giving us many new choices for dealing with injuries. With these new medical devices, I would imagine we will be getting a lot of new types of injuries and maybe the end of the current death mechanic. It could bring in an incapacitation mechanic to replace the death and respawn mechanic with a countdown timer that will start and give a 3-minute countdown before you actually respawn, giving your buddies or other people around you to rescue and revive you. Of course, at the end of the countdown, you would respawn at your designated spawn point, just like we have now in the game. But this would really open up a brand new style of gameplay, the medic. Beyond just the field of battle, CIG are bringing in hospitals, which seem to indicate that this will become the new spawn location rather than rooms in local hotels. Well, maybe there will be injuries that will result in death if not treated at a hospital, forcing the player to go seek treatment. But without permadeath or some sort of loss associated with the poisoning or these grave injuries, there is no actual way to make players use this mechanic. The next gameplay mechanic on the horizon is salvage and repair. Now, I talk about these two mechanics together because they really seem to be two sides of the same gameplay coin. With salvage, you will use tools to extract materials from the hull of ships to sell on the market like you would sell refined ore. And for the modules, you will extract functional modules from wrecks to sell them once the marketplace for selling modules, armor, weapons, and other things to vendors is now open to players. For repair, it's just salvage in reverse. While you'll not be using the same kind of tools, the mechanisms will be similar, and instead of stripping a ship's hull for valuable materials, you'll be replacing those same valuable materials from damaged or missing hull skin sections. For handheld devices, I don't expect that you'll be able to replace an entire wing or a landing gear strut, but the skin on the wing and a single non-articulating part of the landing gear should be within the realm of possibilities of a handheld device, albeit done at a considerably slow pace. The bigger repair vehicles, drones, and ships should come in and bring with them far faster, more robust, and complete repair and/or salvage mechanics. Even though the Reclaimer is in the game, I do not believe that the first iteration of salvage will be implemented in this behemoth. I believe that salvage and repair tier 0 will come in at the same time with their respective multi-tool attachments and maybe, just maybe, a secondary tool more dedicated to the industry, like the Grey Cat cutting tool. Next on the list is cargo missions that are more than just a box, but hundreds of thousands of SEU of cargo needing to be delivered. For that, they will also be bringing the Hull C and other large hauling ships into the game. Very soon, we will be seeing the introduction of the Hercules Starlifter C2 that will be one of the larger cargo ships currently in the verse, and it is my guess that when they bring in Pyro and Nyx at the same time, they will release the Hull C to take advantage of the lucrative trade routes that will likely be created between Levski and Nyx and the landing zones in Stanton. Since any trade route between Nyx and Stanton will have to go through Pyro, these trade routes should be quite lucrative and should give the PvP crowd the real money-making venture both in shipping and in pirating they have been so eagerly awaiting. The cargo missions would be on every major planet in the Stanton system and lead players back and forth between Nyx and Stanton, having to go through Pyro in order to deliver. One of the added benefits of having missions go through such a dangerous location would be that when they fail, the price of said mission would no doubt go up, and the price they pay for escorts would also go up. I can see this style of mission giving CIG many different possible game options to choose from to make cargo finally a very interesting and fun game mechanic to partake in. Now, if repair is also in the game by the time these missions become a thing, I can just see us running through the bowels of the ship, having to repair different systems here and different systems there just to keep the ship functional and to be able to continue the mission and or fight off the attackers. I believe this is where the real depth of Star Citizen's much-awaited gameplay mechanics will start to shine through. And if salvage is in the game when these missions become a thing, imagine pirates attacking and pillaging and taking the cargo, but not only the cargo, but taking the modules off of ships and the hull plating as well. Ships could end up looking like abandoned hulks floating in space after such an encounter, and it would be glorious. Of course, CIG still needs to have a robust iCache and server meshing system behind the scenes to support such gameplay, but hopefully, this is what is being worked on right now and implemented bit by bit throughout this year and the next. Whatever the next game mechanics to come into the game are, they're bound to begin adding that depth to Star Citizen that so many of us have been dreaming and hoping for. I would like to thank you for making it to the end of this video and hope that it has stirred your imagination and gotten you excited about the future of Star Citizen's up-and-coming gameplay mechanics that we'll hopefully see sooner than later. Until next week, Shazbot, Nanu Nanu.